Good morning. I was telling Charlie, I said, make sure that, he was dropping me off out here. I said, make sure that door's open because I don't want my hair to get all messed up. How vain. How vain when everybody's got their power off. So, or a lot of people have their power off. So who cares? I'm one with everybody. Joy. The word joy, the inspiration of joy, pretty much gets a secondhand seat to the divine quality of love. And something that I've more recently, not only, I've known about joy a lifetime. I've had so many joyful experiences. But it has really impressed upon me the impulse, the natural thriving of joy that indwells each one of us all the time. It's within each heartbeat, it's in every breath, it's in every smile, it's in every moment of salvation from our struggles, this joy. And so I invite you to really remember that. It's not about laughing so much, though that certainly invokes pure joy, but there's a feeling, a sense of the divine quality of joy that really allows us to recognize that you are one with whatever is happening and that everything is going to be okay. It is the joy revealed. Ernest Holmes talks about just thinking about approaching spirit. If we wish to come to the spirit for the healing of our wounds, let us come in peace and with spontaneous joy, joy revealed. For the spirit is joy. Let us come with thanksgiving also, for a thankful heart is in harmony with life. But we must come in quiet confidence, with an open and receptive mind, a believing heart, naturally, sanely, and expectantly. In this way, we are entering the portals of reality, clad in garments of righteousness. My first experience, I shared briefly yesterday in Cynthia's celebration, but I remember when I was 16 years old, my neighbor, who I was really fond of, close friends, grew up since I was about 9. So those years of friendship and riding bikes and having adventures and doing silly things together, was suddenly and abruptly murdered by his stepfather. And that was so devastating to me at that age. And I remember giving a vow to myself, I will never, ever smile again. I'll never be happy again. I will not let my heart open to this world ever, ever again. And I shut down as deeply as I could. A few weeks went by, and my parents were worried about me, but I was sticking to my vow because my friend Zodi was gone. And one day I woke up and I felt like smiling, and I thought, I can't. I'll be disloyal to my friend. And then time goes by, months go by, and I'm laughing again. I found myself walking across the campus at the high school, and I was laughing. And I realized joy revealed. Now I realize it more today than I did in that moment, but the impulse of joy to be expressed in our humanness is one of the most sincere God qualities that we sometimes don't really celebrate as much as we do love. And yet, this joy revealed, it is the internal flow. It's not something that we have to learn about. It's something that we have to live. Our greatest joy is lived in deep, loving and generous relationships with others. Now, in my moments of struggle for human conditions, whatever they might be in that moment, we all have them, whatever that struggle is. It could be a flip of the phone and there's a video of my grandson laughing joyfully. I mean, what has he got a concept at 5 months old to figure out what there is to laugh about? But everybody's heard the laugh of a baby, and you can't help but feel the genuine smile rise up through your whole being, and you forget for that moment what you were struggling with, right? When I watch videos of puppies playing or kitties, when I watched Reverend Kay bring her and her dog today, I was like, oh, it's right away, right? Joy. Joy emerges from our heart, and we can't help but feel it well up. So this natural sense of paying attention, okay, what are my emotions? What is my emotion expressing here? Am I accepting the experience that I am in? And if my experience right now is painful, I need to name it as so. We don't want to spiritually bypass anything, stuff it away. It's all good, one of the most beautiful expressions for spiritual practice, but also one of the most annoying ones when you don't really feel like it's all good yet. Everything is evolving to good, but let us remember those moments when we're in our own story and in our suffering, that we are validated to name it as so, to allow ourselves these moments to realize something is painful happening to me now, but I am not alone. Because I remember, and we all remember, that there is suffering. This is what the Buddha found out when he went out into the world, trying to see, well, what is this life about? And he saw the suffering, but he came back, and in his teaching, in the path and the fellowship of the Buddhist way, is to find that deep surrender, to a deep penetrating joy that is revealed. So joy is enhanced when we make someone else happy. It is about being in service to another. As we give, we receive. It is a continual flow of joy, the rivers of joy ever flowing. And we were studying this next couple months, this Life is Joy by Roger Teal. And great wisdom in this book as he takes some of his stories and his life's mission and brings it back. Now, he spent a lot of time with the Dalai Lama, and so a lot of the stories in here are personal to that. But he also gave this idea, which I never really thought about, this flow, the river of joy that flows through us, must be fed by something. We're giving and we're receiving. We give joy, we receive joy, and therefore the rivers that flow within us that are joy-inspired continue to just shine out through the grace of our eyes and our smile and the sound of our voice, the quality of who we are in our beingness in this world. And he likened it to the Dead Sea. If you look at the Dead Sea, there's no inlet. It's just a body of water that becomes very dank and stale. It just is. There's no joy in the Dead Sea. And I thought, I've never really thought about that. And I recently got back from a conference, the Pioneers, and in 2020, it is Charlie's and my intention to bring the Pioneers, which is a wonderful fellowship of people that recognize nature, Mother Earth, climate, air, water, and not complaining about what's happening, noticing, like we talked about, naming what is, but also being solution-oriented and making a change in the world and uplifting your ideas about Mother Earth and wanting to really care about the mother in that way, the sacredness of our land, so that nothing becomes stale or dank. There's an inflow and an outflow of our love for the Mother Earth. We step back into that knowing. One of the leading phrases from the Pioneers Conference was, You know, you look out there, you see the green. That green is creating your breath. I know that from learning that in school, but I sort of started taking it for granted because we breathe all the time, right? Our breath is just there, so we think, well, and suddenly every tree, everything green suddenly became much more precious to me. And I smile upon Mother Nature for her gifts. And pioneers reminded us, all of us, that we've been wounding the earth, sending deep wounds into the earth. And it is ours now to go beyond our complaining and begin to be part of the healing. Because Mother Nature is always speaking to us and always inviting us. That is the generosity of spirit of the Mother. So we are most joyful when we focus on others and not on ourselves. Remember that in your own personal journey. Bringing joy to others is the fastest way to experience your own joy. The Dalai Lama had said, 10 minutes of meditation on the well-being of others can help one to feel joyful for the whole day. And then he added, even before coffee. The Dalai Lama is priceless in his giggling, in his laughter, and yet we know that the Dalai Lama has lived a life of finding refuge and finding joy and expressing joy and helping many in that journey. So when we come close to our heart, we cannot help but be joyful. When we have the courage to live with an open heart, we are able to feel our pain and the pain of others, but we are also able to experience more joy. Now, it almost doesn't seem possible. But I remember even yesterday watching Mike cry. I could feel myself wonder if I could speak another word. But then the memory of some joyful, silly moment with Cynthia brought us back home to a celebration of what life is and what this internal joy really is all about. So the bigger and the warmer our heart, the stronger our sense of resilience, our stronger sense of our aliveness is for that quality of joy. Because yes, all things pass, but joy remains. And in releasing our suffering, I really get this now, that it goes into joy. It goes into joy and love. When we name the qualities of the divine and we establish a faith and we're grounded and rooted in the qualities of the divine, God is love, beauty, joy, peace, life, light. When we really stand behind our word, there's our faith, there's our knowing. What else are we releasing anything into but joy? And then the smile emerges from deep within. It's an impulse beating against our very being. Be joyful, rejoice, be joyful. Allow it to be. So this joy is not something that we can go out and seek in pleasures, though that certainly does give a sense of well-being at times. But often if we're just out there seeking for a thing, a pill, a medication, something, a person, to be our taste of joy, our medicine for joy, it's not as lasting when the kind of joy that bubbles from within you. When we're looking for it from the outer experience, we're anesthetizing the true joy that's longing to be expressed. It cannot be manipulated into being. So what I share here from this idea, this passage I wanted to share from Dalai Lama's book, The Book of Joy, and this is one of my favorite ones to pick up and read because it's his story with Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama, and the interviewer is Douglas Abrams. And he does such a brilliant job. These two men both instill that idea of absolute joy. And so he starts by sharing this particular story of a Black prisoner that was unjustly put in prison and blamed for a crime that he never did really commit, but he was supposed to serve a life sentence. His name, Anthony Ray Hinton. He was actually sent to death row for what they describe as a trial that can be called a travesty of justice. He was understanding what was going on. He was heartbroken at how the American justice system had failed him. When no one believes a word you say, eventually you stop saying anything. And I cannot say, I did not say good morning anymore. I did not say good evening. I did not say how do you do anymore to anyone. If the guards needed some information from me, I wrote it down on a piece of paper because I was angry. But going into that 4th year, I heard a man in the cell next to mine crying. The love and compassion I had received from my mother spoke through me. Joy revealed. It spoke through me. He said he had just found out that his mother had passed away, and I told him, look at it this way. Now you have someone in heaven who's going to argue your case before God. And then I told him a joke, and he laughed, and suddenly my voice, my sense of humor were back. Joy revealed. For 26 long years after that night, I tried to focus on other people's problems, and every day I did. I would go to the end of the day and realize I had not focused on my own. He was now able to bring love and compassion to a loveless place, and in so doing, he was able to hold his joy in one of the most joyless places on the planet. While he was in prison, he watched 54 people, 53 men, 1 woman, walk by his cell on their way to the execution chamber. He got his fellow inmates to start hanging their bars at 5 minutes before the execution. I discovered on death row that the other humans had not had the unconditional love that I had from my mother, but we became a family. And we did not know if they had any other family or friends, so we were hanging on the bars to say to those that were being put to death, we are with you, we still love you, right to the end. Now, in the tenderness of that story, it also reveals the genuineness of spirit, the longing for this joy to be expressed. There's another passage here, just briefly, I want to share this with you. It was a powerful example of the ability to respond with joy despite horrendous conditions. He was describing as we were driving in a taxi in New York, he told me, the world didn't give you joy. The world can't take it away. You can let people come in your life and destroy it, but I refused to let anyone take my joy. I got up this morning and I don't need anyone to make me laugh. I'm going to laugh on my own because I've been blessed to see another day. And when you're blessed to see another day, that automatically should give you joy, right? Oftentimes at cardiac rehab, you would say hello to people and you'd say, how are you doing? And they say, above ground. And I'm thinking, well, okay. There's another story that Roger Teal talks about, a horrendous day, a terrible storm. And an elderly man, 83, I don't think elderly is elder anymore, but that's what they said in the book. And I'm thinking, ouch. Elderly to me now is 120. However, this man was struggling against the storm, and Roger called out to him, said, how are you doing? And he said, best day yet. Can we answer that way? Whatever's going on, best day ever, best day yet. I'm alive. The impulse of joy is being revealed in me. I feel an inner smile. It is my refuge. It is why I sit in meditation, because the joy is revealed, the joy I respond. So, Brother Steindl Rast says, whatever life gives you, you can respond with joy. Sometimes we're afraid if we don't have our story, and we're not infusing our story when we retell it with some sort of sorrowful drama to it, We're not being listened to as much. We're not as important. But truly what people want to see is everyone's joy being revealed, so we can let go of some of our stories that we've been hammering upon people for so long. Whenever life gives you, this is brother again, you can respond with joy. Joy is the happiness that does not depend on what happens. It is the grateful response to the opportunity that life has offered you in that moment. So smiles, laughter, gratitude, these are the ingredients that feed that wellspring of joy. So I'm going to ask you right now, as goofy as it might seem, and it's not, what did I describe it? It's not that goofy fake smile, like, it's not one of those. But I want you to close your eyes. And in the heart space of your own being, mine is my grandson Corey's laughter. Or mine is listening to Charlie's monologue in the morning as he gets ready. I just chuckle the whole time while he's just getting ready, just telling me stories. There's a joy. I want you to think of yours. It's just natural. It comes right up to you. A puppy, a kitten, a child, a friend. Your joy. And let it make its way to the muscles of your face so you have that genuine smile. The smile that Thich Nhat Hanh says begins in the eyes. And you can feel the corners of your eyes, and you can feel the genuine expression on your face. I am smiling. Spend a moment there, and I want you to hold it. No one's looking at you, but you're smiling. You're smiling deeply into your own being. You're remembering who you are. This is stimulating the hypothalamus. Keep smiling. The hypothalamus regulates the stress in your brain, as well as the ventral region of the brain, part of the reward circuit that produces the pleasures in your brain. Keep smiling. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Keep smiling. It triggers joy, and you're in the happiness response. Keep smiling. Releasing those neuropeptides that work to fight against stress and release the flow of those feel-good neurotransmitters. Serotonin, it's a natural antidepressant. Dopamine, it is the reward center stimulant. Keep smiling. And the endorphins, the natural painkillers, smile deeper. Smiling stimulates smiling in others. Smile. Keep smiling. This is the journey into joy-filled life. This is the smile that triggers the calling of the divine, of the joy. Keep smiling. Smile at each other. Smile at the world. Smile at your problems. It's a spiritual practice. Set your intention now. Set your intention and feel a sense of, I'm going to take this joy. I see what we're talking about here. This joy is revealed in me as me. This joy is revealed in me as me. Oh, my beloved story. Oh, my beloved mind that can recreate in just a moment a hint of this truth that dwells within me, this God quality, this joy. This is now, I can declare my heart's desire around this. What do I wish for myself? I am in this joyous state. What do I wish for myself, for my loved ones, for the world, for the earth? I'm smiling. I'm smiling deeply because today I'm choosing to be the joy of spirit. Today, I am choosing to walk my talk and to allow this stream of ever-flowing joy that connects me with gratitude and love for life itself. Best day ever, joy revealed. Close your eyes and feel yourself smiling as we take this moment into prayer, and I want you to feel the blessing May all beings attain happiness. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings never be separated from joy. May all beings abide in equanimity. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta bhavantu. Blessing. May all beings attain happiness. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings never, never be separated from the eternal joy. May all beings abide in equanimity. May this always be the best day ever. There is only one divine, gracious, giving mother, father, friend, beloved. Your name, your connection. We call ourselves into the arms of that beloved, and we lean in to the heart of the one. And we are so grateful for a teaching, for a philosophy, for a fellowship that believes in the unity, that believes in the oneness, that believes in love, that believes and lives in joy. We are so thankful. We are on this journey in humanity, and we live on a certain level in humanity, but diving deep, we live in our spiritual nature. And the call is now to bring that joy forward, to be the example of what the world needs as we smile to one another. Every smile is a rejoicing that we're alive and that we have great work to do as we heal the wounds of the mother, as we bless the green air that we breathe, and we remember who we are and who our friends are, who our family is, and all the situations that are going on in our world right now are waking us up to the impulse, the joy that is being revealed, that is pulsing through our very essence. It is the joy revealed. It is the joy that we give thanks for. It is the joy. It is the joy. It is the joy. And for that, we give thanks. And our smile remains ever present. And so it is. You smiling? Look at your neighbor and smile at them, and they can't help but smile back because they don't want to be the one not smiling. Have a great day.